Today we're going to discuss nonverbal cues. So what specifically are nonverbal cues? Quite simply, it's your physiology. It's a part of communication that you express to other people, but also, very importantly, it expresses things to yourself. And we're going to be talking about both sides of this. By the end of the episode, my intention is that you're going to become more aware of what your body's telling you at certain times. And by being aware of it, also share with you a couple of skills that you can use that will allow you to adjust what your body's telling you to allow you to be more resourceful. Self-awareness is what we talk about in this series. And an important part of self-awareness is knowing when you're on track for where you want to go and when you're not. We've all heard the saying that it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Well, that can be in your communication with your friends, with your family. There are many times where you want to express love to somebody, but you don't do it in the best way possible. Well, why is that? Back in February of 1998, I was going to a Tony Robbins seminar, and he was talking about communication, and that so many people think that the words you say are the most important thing when you're expressing something to someone. If you're saying, I love you to the person that you care about. But the reality is the words that you choose to use are only 7% of your communication. The voice quality, how you say it, is 38%. So a person will respond differently if you say, I love you, to I love you. Quite simple, stands out a bit. But the biggest distinction I made at that event was when I said that 55% of your communication is nonverbal. It's your physiology. So he went into an exercise that really drove the point home. And not just about how you communicate to other people, but about how your body communicates to you. And I mean, the way that you're using your body determines the emotions you feel, the thoughts that you focus on, the resources that you have to deal with something. The example he used was if there was somebody standing behind you and you weren't able to look at this person, and this person was completely and totally depressed. He asked simple questions. Would the person's head be up or down? And 3,500 people pretty much in unison said the head would be down. And he asked, would the shoulders be back or would they be slumped? And again, the whole room, the shoulders would be slumped. And he went through these different physical descriptions of somebody who would be depressed. And everybody answered pretty much the same thing. And his point was that to feel depressed, we have to take on that physiology. Now, the great part about that was that by changing the physiology, you could change the way you felt. That was a key distinction for me. But the first part of it was that I needed to be aware that my physiology was out of whack. It made me become sensitive in situations where I was sitting with somebody, whether it was a business meeting or whether it was sitting with a friend. If I started feeling uneasy, I would pay attention and go, okay, are my muscles tensed up? Are my fists clenched? Change it. Loosen up the muscles, breathe, sit back, and it would allow me to communicate differently with the person that I was talking to. Your body is such a fine-tuned machine. I mean, it tells you everything you need to know. The challenge is most of us don't listen to it. It's communicating with us all the time. Early on in my journey of self-awareness, there was an acronym that I was given to use that if I was feeling explosive, if I was feeling off center, if I was feeling out of sorts, I wasn't feeling resourceful, they said HALTS. HALTS, just on the end of it. And what they were saying was, in that moment, stop and check these 5 things. Are you hungry? Because your body can be telling you a lot of times people's blood sugar gets off and they're feeling irritable and they don't know why. And your body's going, I need food. Are you angry? A. What are you focusing on that is making you not resourceful in that moment? Are you lonely? A lot of times we get out of place because we've got all these ideas bouncing around inside of our head, and we really need to talk to somebody about it. We need to communicate, we need to connect. Sometimes you just need a hug, but your body is telling you the things that you need. T, are you tired? Do you need to just close your eyes for a minute, take a minute to renew, to regenerate, to revive yourself? And S is, are you sick? Are you coming down with something? Are you not feeling well? In that moment, before you say or do something that you're going to regret later, check, HALTS, HALTS. Quite a simple process. And what I learned by combining those two together was that at any time I had the ability to kind of check in with myself and go, okay, what's going on? And if I'm not happy with what I find, what can I change to allow me to be happy? I mean, ultimately, that's the place that I want to spend my time, is I want to be happy and I want to be peaceful. So if I'm sitting here and I'm all tensed up, what do I need to do to let that go? There's something I'm allowing to influence me. A lot of times it's as simple as just taking a deep cleansing breath. And you can do that in the middle of a business meeting where it doesn't have to be as dramatic as I just did. You just breathe in deeply, you hold it for a couple of seconds, and you exhale. And it'll change the way you feel. Just by doing that, the rest of your body relaxes. Now, why is this important? It's important for a couple of reasons. I'm hoping that your goal and your journey in becoming more self-aware is to, one, be able to treat yourself better, to be able to live a happier and more peaceful life, but two, also to be able to contribute to others in a healthy and empowering way. That's my hope for you. I don't know what your journey of self-awareness is. The importance of these nonverbal cues, from my perspective, first off, is realizing that your body is talking to you. Your body is communicating to you. There was a point where we were filming one of the takes earlier, and before we even started, I felt tension in my gut. My hands were clenched because we were trying something totally new and it was outside of my comfort zone. So I did a breathing exercise before we started to get myself more centered. You can take control. Pay attention. Notice when that gut feeling is tight. Notice when your muscles are tense. Notice when you're sitting slumped or whatever, and change it. So an exercise I want to give to you for the next 7 days, there's two parts to this exercise. One is I want you to build and strengthen that muscle of taking control of how you feel and what you're communicating to other people. So each day I want you to pick a different state, a different emotion that you want to experience. Confidence, happiness, joy, gratitude, pride, whatever the case may be. And just to get used to it, ask yourself, if I was feeling confident right now, how would I hold my head? And put your head in that position. If I was feeling confident, where would my shoulders be? Put your shoulders in that position. If I was feeling confident, how would I breathe? Breathe the way you would breathe when you're confident. And allow yourself to use your physiology to amplify those feelings. And do it for like 5 or 10 minutes just to get used to taking that control. The second part of the exercise is I'd like you to really pay attention and become aware of when your body's talking to you this week. Journal it, write down. You know what? There was a point around noon at the office that I really was feeling on edge. And when I stopped and I used that silly acronym HALTS, I found out that, I didn't eat breakfast this morning and I needed to get something to eat. And within a matter of 5 minutes of eating, I felt great. Put it in a journal. Become connected to what your body's telling you. Nonverbal cues. They communicate to other people. They communicate to you. Learn it, apply it. I look forward to hearing your results. Share it with us. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. For a transcription of the video you just watched, more videos, and related articles, visit yourdailylifecoach.com. To comment on this video, select Discussion Forums on any page of our website.